Just mute my mobile so it doesn't ping.
Okay, we are live, and unfortunately, I had to use a different computer, so I had to set some things up, and it just took a little bit longer than I thought. But hello, Tuna Man, how are you? I hope my audio is loud enough. But so far, we have with me Ook and Neo, and we don't have the rest of the gang yet. I'm
Um,
missing Blarg.
Blarg, the weather in Queensland is fucking. We've got more cyclones across that have hit up north. Not near where Blarg is, but yeah, the weather could be contributing to the Blarg's thing.
Oh,
Yeah, Queensland's just getting pummeled. More cyclones in this season than I can ever remember in my entire life. And I mean, I lived through the two worst cyclones in history, in Australia history, and they're just getting more frequent and more violent, and they don't even have time anymore to repair the damage from one cyclone before the next one hits, and it's just compounding. So yeah,
so
imagine
right
being
now is cyclones?
yeah, cyclones.
Okay,
Uh,
and like I presume a lot of rain and stuff, right?
Rain, flooding, in places that shouldn't, um, like in central Australia, t- towns shouldn't that only get flooded maybe once every 50 years are getting flooded every couple of years now, and the Australian ecology can't handle it. Yeah, it's a strange thing. We're either being flooded or burnt. Yeah, the bottom half's getting burnt, or heat waves, or it's uh, it's a fun time.
Hmm. Are there a lot of deaths, or is
No,
everyone
pretty
managed?
much.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, we do. One thing that Australia does rather well is disaster. Is we're not completely stupid. We don't. We know that because of we're so spread out. You have to be a bit self-sufficient. So everyone has their disaster plans, their stuff. Building codes. You could go to jail up until I think 15 years ago. The building codes for buildings in cyclone areas, designated cyclone areas, were that strict that if you wanted to put a brick barbecue in your backyard, you had to get the council to come out and approve that it was cyclone rated. They've now removed all those, so now they're having to build cyclone shelters for people to, hide in place, which is a bit silly. But yeah, so far our natural disasters generally don't kill a lot of people, which is good
I
because we've
presume
got
there's a lot of property damage, right?
fucking huge, huge. But we have like state emergency services in every state. They're all volunteer. Huge amounts of work they do. They don't get penalised if if they need to go on training or whatever. Their job is secure. They keep getting paid by the government pays their wage, so the employers aren't missing out. We're also lucky that we can use the Australian Army for disaster relief whenever, and even better that the largest army base in Australia is right in the smack, dead centre of the cyclone normal tracking area. So they've got thousands of guys that can go and help at the, and machinery. So it's
I mean, sounds kind of like what we have as the National Guards.
sort of, but they're professionals.
Oh, I see.
It's yeah, the Army Reserve here is part time. Not yeah, they're all right. They're much better than the American normal regular army. They're better trained, but our army, yeah, we don't have a national guard or anything. We use actually professional troops for disaster relief. They're all full-time soldiers. That's why we only have small armed force and small navy, but they're all professionals. I mean, you only have to look at the way, yeah, Australia uses their armed forces a lot different to every other country. They're a bit like Britain. They don't want a lot of yobs running around knowing how to be lethal killers. They prefer a small, highly professional, highly trained force instead of numbers like China and the US does. You can do a lot more damage with properly trained people than you can with 20,000 with what was it? I'm trying to think. I think it was I think it was about 48 Australian SAS soldiers in Vietnam removed. I think it was 2 battalions of Viet Cong out of an area that the Americans had been trying to move for 12 months. And they just sent 48 odd SAS specialists in there. They cleared out the tunnel system. And they did it in 3 days. So it's better to have highly trained professionals than, cannon fodder, which is what most of the American army is, or the armed forces. They're just cannon fodder. It's fun to look back at history and see how different countries look at their defence and all their armed forces. It tells a lot. Yeah, we don't get people. You can't join the army as a way of get out of jail free here. There's all, yeah, it's a completely different mindset. And we only have the Army, Navy and Air Force. That's it. We don't have any other branches of armed forces.
Well, looks like we have Blarg. I didn't notice. Hey,
Blarg.
Blarg. Hey, Blarg. We were just talking about. Are you affected by the cyclones?
No. They're way all the way up the north. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
So
it
you're
is.
saying that you have no excuse for showing up late?
No, no, I don't. I'm just busy as hell. And I look down, I'm like, oh, Jesus, it's after
Sure.
time. Also, that the thing I didn't stuff up last week, I almost stuffed up this week. So,
Oh, okay.
so
I was trying
the
to cover
change.
your ass, saying the weather was keeping you away.
I don't know how to pronounce this. Albania Henry Franklin, Alban. I guess we can just call him
Albania.
Alban. Yeah, he's in the comments a lot. But no, you haven't. Well, I guess what you've missed is the cyclone.
It's
The
Henry.
cyclones in. Oh, I guess we can just say Henry. The cyclones in Australia. But yeah,
I was trying to explain how the armed forces in Australia are different than America and how they help a lot with the disaster relief and everything. But that's about all. Um, Neil and I were talking women's rugby before the show started, and that's about it.
so let me just I'm just going to do a quick share of because I don't have anything prepared. So what? So that means we can just kind of make fun of some of the stupid comments on the AXP. So this rock soup thing, I've been trying to get him to shame Neppy to kind of realize that mentioning rock soup is just an indication of stupidity. I mean, just utter stupidity to say that abiogenesis is rock soup and scientists or anyone rational is saying that it's rock soup that caused life. It's just stupid. And I think we actually talked about it last week. But the idea of the rock soup is, and I'm trying to explain to him, it's substrate chemistry. We know that a lot of the chemical pathways have issues in regard to how you could get biomolecules from abiotic precursors. In that situation, unless you count things like substrate chemistry, where it can address things like dilution and even chirality, etc. So to just take that, and because he is so stupid and so ignorant of science, calling it rock soup to make it seem like, I guess, to say that abiogenesis is somehow ridiculous as rock soup. It's just so stupid. So I've been trying for the most part to just kind of make fun of him by things like, putting in Yabba Dabba Doo and calling him Fred Flintstone, etc. But apparently he has no shame. And I guess for someone who's gone to prison 2 times for fraud, for being dishonest, I guess he probably doesn't have too much shame left. And
I just
yeah.
love the idea that you've got these Christians who think that they're going to get to go to heaven, but that they don't have to follow the fucking rules here on earth, and you're just going, yeah, you can just lie continuously, even though the Bible is very, very strict about this matter, and think, yeah, that'll be fine. I only have to believe. I don't have to actually do anything or follow or any of the rest of it. Even though God's only going to take 144,000 people, he'll take us liars first, apparently.
Well, to be fair, the 144,000 is one view of it. So if you're not sure that you're going to be one of the 144,000, you can make up something else to say, no, God is going to save everyone, right? So the 144,000 people who believe that, I guess, are the ones who are very confident that they're going to make it. But everyone else, they have to say, no, it's not 144,000. It's that anyone who believes. That's all you have to do. So, yeah, I think, I'm pretty sure Neppy doesn't believe he's, there's a limited to 144,000.
Well, it basically means that if you don't have to follow the rules of not lying, you don't have to follow any rules. There are no rules. None of the requirements in the Bible for how you should behave matter. None of the commandments matter. None of the only thing that matters is you just have to believe, and then that's fine. You get paradise, and people who are less gullible than you get to go to hell. And yeah, that is some stupid shit.
Well, I think you have to kind of give credit to Paul, because a lot of this kind of getting saved through grace and all that comes from Paul. And Jesus, what he says in the gospel is more about you have to be good, you have to be just, etc., and you have to follow the laws, etc. But Paul comes along and he has to promote this religion and be able to get people on board. And
Yeah, well,
you
Paul
can't,
creates his own religion.
yeah, you can't
So,
get a
yeah,
lot
he
of
creates
people. Yeah, if you said, hey, our God is only going to take 144,000 of you, there aren't as many people that are going to want to believe. Or if they're told you have to also follow all these laws that
Yeah,
our
you're gonna have to
Jewish
get them
people have to do,
tip-nipped.
yeah, but it's very convenient and easy. Oh, you mean I don't have to do anything? Just say that I believe? Then it's much easier getting tons of people, especially when you say, that thing that of circumcision. Well, no, you don't really have to. So if you just want to join our religion, not follow any of the laws or anything, or you can be a horrible person. And all you have to do is, like, before you die, just say that you believe in Jesus and you're saved. That makes it for a really easy religion to get on board with.
That being said, the authors of Mark, Matthew, and John were of a similar idea of saved through grace, through the sort of sacrifice of Jesus, as opposed to Luke, who was not, which is what we discussed a couple of weeks back. He
Well,
was
but they won't
he
say
held
that
that position.
just by believing you're gonna get to heaven, right?
Well, that has to be the thing, because apparently you don't have to follow any of the fucking rules.
No, but that comes from Paul mostly. I mean, the
Yeah.
Gospels, they'll say, Jesus is, saving you with his death and is a sacrificial lamb and all that. But they don't say that you don't have to do anything except believe. I don't think. I might be wrong.
Yeah, well, you definitely have to believe, but yeah, Luke didn't think that the sacrifice and resurrection were the thing that gave that the purpose of that was to cause salvation, as
Yeah.
opposed to it was to remind people that this is a good man being killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better do something about it because the world is horrible around you.
Well, just think, if it is the case that Jesus, just by his sacrifice, washes away everyone's sins, then why do we have to worry? He's done. He did the sacrifice, so there shouldn't be any sin, right? Everything is forgiven.
Yeah, so you have to
I've
just
said that
straddle.
before to
You have to straddle this fence, don't you? Yeah, you got a nut on each side of a barbed wire fence. You go, you got to have a little bit of this, but yeah, it's garbage.
What were you saying, Neil?
Um, You've said this
Oh,
before.
I was agreeing. I've said that before. Whenever they've talked about it, it's like going, well, if it's a free gift and it's a sacrifice that's been given, then I don't need to do anything more because it's already happened. Otherwise, it isn't a gift and it wasn't a sacrifice.
Yeah, it's hard to say it's
It's
a
either
gift.
washed the sins away or it hasn't. You don't get any in between.
I mean, it's gotten to the point, because there are so many interpretations of it, that I think the best thing for a Christian is just to be like Craig, try not to be a dick and give people respect, all people, because you can't, reading the book and all the other related literature, you don't know what to fucking believe. There's no, everything's if this, maybe that, could mean that, might mean this. Just be a decent bloke and fuck it.
Well, did you see the comment? I don't remember the comment exactly, but I guess Florida Link was saying something about how he's doing all this to try to save people, right? And definitely not because he's just a troll. And I think some of the comments made this similar point. A lot of the trolls that are posting here are just it just seems like they're trying to convince themselves that they're right.
Yeah. I actually I was going to post,
Yeah.
ran out of time this morning. I was going to post up a hypothesis that I have that most of these Christian trolls know that their God doesn't exist, but they're desperately trying to convince themselves that's what they're doing here. And that's where the cognitive dissonance comes from and the anger that it's not going well. So that's my theory.
I mean, I haven't kept up with the mega churches and all the evangelical bollocks, but could it be that they get there's some sort of doctrine that's been introduced that you know you get brownie points if you convert people or get people to come to your church or something? I don't know.
Well, but I mean, there is a commission, right? The Great Commission, that you are supposed to go and save people.
Yeah, supposedly. But
Well, I mean, it's not supposed to. It's
Some of
there.
the churches do have this kind of, you get further in their hierarchy by bringing people in. It's like
Yeah.
a sales scheme.
Yeah, and
Craig,
they'll have like missionaries where or not maybe directly sending missionaries, but most churches will have send their money to support various different missionaries out there.
you
yeah,
see
so,
the comment from Craig
Mm.
as well.
Which one?
The better question: were sacrifices
Oh,
needed
that
at
thing.
all?
yeah,
Yeah, that was actually the discussion that Bart Ehrman said about why Luke likely went down the path he did with the why is there a sacrifice necessary? This is just another blood sacrifice, the same as all the other blood sacrifices. Why would that be necessary? So hence he went with it wasn't necessary.
Well,
It
there
was
is a
a
Jewish
just a reminder.
tradition, of having a scapegoat, right? And
Yeah.
Jesus is being presented as a scapegoat who takes on everyone's sin and then goes off and dies, which is how it was done in Jewish tradition. You would put all the kind of the faults and guilt of the tribe onto a goat and you send it out to
And
die.
and it matches the older tradition of, the blood sacrifice as well.
Yeah. But within the Bible, you don't need to have sacrifices to get forgiven by God. You could
No, but
just essentially
it's
pray
pretty
and
damn
ask.
common. If you want something big, you better be murdering something big in order to get it.
Yeah,
So
or have a great prophet who can forgive or help God forgive your sins. And I get the sense that at least in some versions of the gospel, Jesus is there to kind of speak on behalf of you to God, to his Father, I guess. And so it's not. It seems like the idea of him having to be crucified it is just kind of a different version of the story of the cult to say that uh, you know that somehow it was necessary. I kind of feel like it's initially when he was this itinerant rabbi just creating this cult, he was going to essentially just speak for you on your behalf. Uh, he was appointed by God as the representative of the divine, and then something horrible occurred. He died. They crucified
yeah,
him, and I think at the time that would have been a surprise, right? There's this guy who's supposed to be like the king, and it was there to save you, and was able to like get rid of the enemies and all that. He's the Messiah, the chosen one, and then he dies. And think of the shock. Then they would have to kind of come up with an explanation. That, oh no, it was totally part of the plan that he was supposed to die, and it was actually completely intended, and he's gonna come back, right? So they write that into the Gospels to say, yeah, he's gonna come back, and there's even this story where he told everyone that before everyone that's present, tastes death, he will be back. And then I think he says other things like in different versions where he says, before you've had chance to tell everyone in the town, surrounding towns, he would be back. But, they had to find a way to explain it, right? And so then it becomes this, he died as a sacrifice for your sins.
And it even gets, why do you need Jesus to intercede?
Yeah.
for-
You
for
can just pray yourself.
But then it gets even stranger with the growth of Catholicism. You now got all the saints that can intercede
Right.
for, and it's uh, as far as I can break it down, it's just basically it's a pyramid scheme.
Well, it's a way for the power structure, right? It's a way for people in
Yeah.
power to keep especially in the early days when you have all these peasants that are suffering. If you tell them, hey, you know what? This is just passing. This is just temporary. Don't worry about it. You don't have to go and revolt against your lord and against the priests. It's all just gonna be like you'll get paradise if you just listen and don't do anything stupid.
And that sort
but
of doctrine has worked for
yeah, it's worked.
so many
just
millennia in India so well.
yeah.
Yeah, don't make waves, shut up, do what it's good to be kicked in the face by the people. Yeah. And
Yeah, it's no big deal. You're gonna go to heaven afterwards. So
Yeah.
after you die, everything will be perfect. But just for Diva, what is really so, I guess, ironic, is you all don't understand anything about Christian. Although we're talking about what's in the book, right? Stick to explaining it. I guess he's saying stick to explaining atheism, and for Diva by atheism he means like science. So you get all these idiots in the comments who know nothing about science and trying to explain science and how wrong it is. But now Diva is here saying, "Oh, you don't explain. You don't understand being a Christian. So explain being an atheist." It's just hilarious. And then he has to follow up. At some point, we'll probably just put him a timeout. But 144,000 only being in heaven is just a Jehovah's Witness called false belief. Yeah, and maybe he didn't
Incorrect.
hear. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you're not confident that you're going to be one of the chosen, you're going to say you're going to want to increase that number. You don't want to put a limit on it, because people who have behaved in the most awful ways, they don't want to have to take the chance that they're not going to be part of the 144,000. So you have to say that no, anyone who believes, that's all you have to do.
Funny how Diva says that we don't understand the Bible, but he's there saying, "Oh no, it's only a Jehovah's Witness thing," and you just go, "There's two lengthy sections in Revelation that describe the 144,000, and they're only Jews." So that's it. You
Well, I mean, to be fair, most Christians don't know the Bible, so
apparently
so
Diva
it's
doesn't either.
understandable that Diva
And
doesn't
you're like,
know.
yeah, Revelation 7 and Revelation 14 both discuss the 144,000. So, Diva really does need to actually look in his own backyard before he starts pointing at others.
And look at this hilarious thing. You can't be a Christian and be a liar. Oh my God! It's like
Oh, really?
we have so many freaking liars in the
No
comments.
Christians ever, Fred.
Including Diva.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he has a different idea of what being dishonest is, being a
he
liar
mustn't
is.
hold to the Protestant, the noble lie. I'm assuming he doesn't believe that doctrine.
No, I don't know that doctrine. That it's okay to lie to save people or
Yeah,
something?
the noble lie. I forget whether it was Luther or one of the other Protestant guys who came up with the idea of the noble lie. It's fine to lie for the greater good. It's fine. It means you can lie to get converts. You can tell them anything as long as you get people to convert. It's fine.
And also they believe in objective morality, where
Yeah.
the morality of something doesn't change based on, your personal stance. So I guess that goes out the window.
It shouldn't change based upon anything else either. Like the circumstances of the situation. If it's immoral to kill a person, then it shouldn't matter whether you're doing that to save another person or whether you're doing it because because it gives you a boner to go and kill someone. It should not make any difference between those two. It's objective morality. There's no wiggle room in there. So, and it shouldn't matter whether it was 2,000 years ago or 2,000 years in the future. They should stay the same as well. But it's funny how they keep arguing that it was a different time and slavery was different back then. It was okay to own people then, but it's not okay to own them now.
Yeah, except when you kind of twist the words of the Bible to say, oh no, God didn't promote slavery. He was just trying to help people who are in debt, because you have to conflate indentured servitude with, chattel slavery if you are an ignorant Christian.
Yes, you have to ignore the verses that are very explicitly chattel slavery.
Right.
And the parts of the verses that are about indentured slavery but move over into chattel slavery. Yeah, you have to ignore those bits as well, like the spike through the ear that converts someone into chattel slavery. And you have to ignore the wife and children who don't get to go out, because they're never indentured. They're always chattel. But that being said, wives are chattel anyway, so which is why wives are included in the chattel section of the Ten Commandments.
Yeah, so Nepi has explicitly said that there is no chattel slavery in the Bible, which is an indication that he has not read the Bible, right? I mean, these slavery apologists that come on, it's gotta be, they must just like put on blinders, where they just ignore not just the parts of the Bible, but people explaining to them the parts of the Bible where it says chattel slavery is not just accepted, but you were told to go get your property from countries that surround you.
Yeah, it's you just ignore all of the parts you don't like. You just go, it's like broccoli on the on a selection of foods at a buffet. You go, I don't like broccoli. I don't have to even acknowledge its existence. Just move on to the next bit.
And it's also you can be a cafeteria Christian and be a decent human being. I'm really tired of the evangelical bullshit where you need a religion, a God, to be a decent human being, and you don't. And I mean, for me, that's it. Don't go yelling in the streets and trying to convert and completely, blatantly lying to try and get people converted to your version of your religion. Just fucking be a normal, nice, decent human being and leave it at that. But of course,
But
they can't.
I mean, it is that Great Commission where they feel that they have to convert people, which has caused Christians to commit quite a bit of atrocities.
Oh, did anyone catch that? I think it was a week ago or something. Young Carl was yelling about name one Christian who has said in the name of the Father, Son, and gone out and killed people. And I happened to be reading through the comments last night, and I stuck a little note in, which he probably hasn't bothered to reply. He obviously doesn't understand, has never read history, and doesn't know the most famous battle cry of the Crusades, God wills it. And I'm not going to try and say it in Latin or French because that's how the Crusaders yelled it, but that was their battle cry. God
I mean,
wills
what
it.
does he think? I mean, what is he thinking? I mean, is he just like ignoring all of history?
Yeah, they have to. A lot of them. Diva is. You know.
Well, or are they saying, are they just going to do this no true Christian thing like what Diva is doing, where no, they weren't really doing it for God. They were just doing it for some other reasons.
Well, that's always the thing. They just claim it's for God and use God as the excuse. You go, I want to keep my slaves.
Yeah.
God says I can have them, so I get to keep them.
Yeah.
And then 18 centuries later, it's a weakening of the power of the church that enabled emancipation to be possible.
What the fucking wrong? What's wrong with swearing, you stupid fucking sappo cunt diva? Honestly. Just fuck off. Ugh. Sorry.
But the thing is, like, no Christian cusses or lies or steals or commits sexual immorality. Because all the people, all the Christians,
What the
all the
fuck-
priests
what's-
who have touched little kids, they're not Christians, right? When that happens.
List
But if they
all
say,
the
sorry, God, they're back
what
in the
is
God's
sexual
grace.
immorality? I'd like to know the full list because, you know, I've actually asked, not priests, because I have a little bit more respect for the priests that I know. I wouldn't insult them like that. But I've asked evangelical preachers, you know, have you got a list of this sexual immorality? Because I'd like to know if I'm doing something right or wrong. And like, they don't have one. You know, to me, if you don't have a list of what you can and can't do, well, how do you know you're doing the right thing? And it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, for them, according to the Bible, sexual immorality is like a woman who has sex outside of marriage, and the punishment for that is stoning. You're supposed to kill her.
Yeah, and the Bible's also perfectly fine with guys having lots of wives, though.
Yeah,
And,
that's not
but-
sexual immorality, apparently.
No, polygamy is perfectly fine.
Yeah, but if a guy does commit adultery, and let's say kills the husband of this woman that you desire, you will get punished. Well, not you, your concubines will be raped in public, just to teach you a lesson.
Yeah, that'll
Those
get
women
ya.
didn't do anything, but God is like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to show you by punishing these other people.
Or you get, you know, sexual assault victims get to live the rest of their life with the person who sexually assaulted them, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. As long as you pay, right?
Yeah, and pay the
that's
fine, yeah.
Yeah, you have to pay the dad for buying his property.
So,
Wait. So Diva is
having
saying
a
that.
wank, having a wank is immoral? Sexual immorality?
I mean, the Bible doesn't actually says that with
No,
Onan.
it-
That's because he didn't listen to God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's funny how that gets taken out of context too. You go,
Yeah.
whacking off is bad. You
Yeah,
go, it's
yeah.
there in the story of Onan. You go,
Yeah.
that's not what he's in trouble for, and it's very
Yep.
clear that's not what he's in trouble for.
yeah, it's because he didn't impregnate or want to impregnate his brother's wife.
Yeah.
Widow.
I actually had a rather interesting conversation. I think I was about 23, 24. I was having dinner at the bishop's house, which I used to occasionally get invites to. Fuck knows why. Well, I do know why. They quite liked me. And, you know, he'd have a rabbi and a few others there. And the whole thing of masturbation came up. And I think I told a wank joke. And everyone, and then it's, you know, what's the church's, the rabbi turned around and said, what's your church's position on masturbation? And the bishop said, funnily enough, and then went into a rather lengthy scientific paper that had been given out by the Vatican to say that for health reasons, masturbation is not, as long it's healthy. Priests and monks and all that should, the science backs it up that, you know, it's not good to get, well, to leave your bags unpacked, is the term I use, you know. You always have to empty your bags occasionally, otherwise your cancer rates increase dramatically. And I just thought that, okay, so some churches accept science and will move with it, but they keep it sort of under wraps, you know. You got all the Catholic priests saying, no, it's bad to have a wank, but there's a papal bull kicking around to say that actually you might want to have one occasionally, maybe a few times a year, just to lessen the chance of cancer. Very strange. I have no idea of what the nuns think, because it took me till my mid-20s to get over my nun phobia, if you will. I just never bothered being with nuns or trying to talk to them. In fact, I was having a counter lunch with two brothers and a priest. And
Did you go into a bar?
Yeah, the public bar. And the joke was,
Priest looks up, the publican looks up and he goes, oh, not this again.
not you bastards. You're on a limit. Only 4 jugs each. But it was the thing of the meals just came down, and the priest looked up and went, oh, fuck, Leggett, the penguins are here. And we all, boom, picked up and had to move out of the public bar and go into the lounge bar, because the nuns were coming in asking for donations. But yeah, you got members of the same clergy. Oh shit, the nuns are here. Run away. It, it was like
They weren't
something
there to
out
get
of,
a drink then?
no, they generally don't. Though I know a lot of older nuns, their favourite tickle was gin. They did like a
Just
nice
gin or gin and tonic? I love
gin and tonic, or lime, or
Yeah.
or a brandy. But
Going back to what Diva said, any sex that's not between one man and one woman inside of a marriage, everything else is sexual immorality. So I guess all the kind of the characters in Bible who had more than one wives, you know, even like Abraham, apparently he was just a sinful man, or you know Noah and or was it not, Lot and his daughters. You know, I mean, those kind of stories are just stories of them just committing sexual immorality. I wonder why they I wonder why they kept that in the Bible, to say that it's okay or to say that it's not okay. It doesn't really say, right? Oh well, I mean, in that story, does the Bible actually say that what they did was wrong? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
I mean, we
might
could
have to
ask
read a
our
few
resident
versions.
Bible expert, Diva, but he would have to actually read the Bible for to be able to answer the question. So
Yeah, he doesn't.
well,
He certainly
we
doesn't.
may just
seem
have
know
to,
much.
yeah, we may just have to wait a little while before he gets to at that part. And he says it does. However, he won't be able to demonstrate anything from the Bible that actually confirms what he says, because everything he says is just him just kind of making things up of what of things that the Bible doesn't actually directly say. He somehow knows the mind of God, I guess. So I know you had mentioned how Smoochy was kind of
Oh yeah.
getting
He's
on our favorite. Well, I guess he's not our favorite, but
Laugh for while you can, monkey boy.
our little monkey boy. But he's been doing it to Pirate as well, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of pointing out, and actually,
Yeah.
let me just post this.
I mean,
Pointing out
Smoochy
how
is the most chillest person I think I've ever come across. He's
Yeah.
just laid back. It strikes me as a a true blue fella. He's there's no bullshit in him.
yeah.
I mean, he's a firefighter. He loves his kid, dog, having a beer. And I've never in 7 years seen him get pissed off at someone. And congratulations, Pirate and Donkey Boy. You've managed to do it. And it's...
Well, except he's not like really getting mad at them right now. I think there were some comments where he was just a little bit PO'd, but he's now just kind of pointing out how they seem very obsessed, right? Obsessed with me. And both of them have just been like posting stuff where they're just like preemptively just bringing things up. And I think it's a sign that has gotten to them, especially our monkey boy. Where
Assiduously.
I mean, he will not. And what's really weird is that he will not just say, no. When I see a little kid, I don't try to figure out what their sexual, what their biological sex is. I just, assume their gender based on how they look, which is what everyone does. When you see anyone, you kind of determine their gender based on kind of what the social norm is for
Yeah,
what a
and
man or a woman is.
And for kids, it's so androgynous now.
Yeah, we talked about this last week as well.
But I mean, In later life, okay, I may get kicked off the net if you can hear that thunder.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I might lose my connection. But, as you get older, it's still bloody hard to pick what sex a person is just by social gender cues. And you are going to get it wrong. And
Oh wait, let's first say hi to Pirate and the Monkey Boy because they might be lurking, right?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, we're pretty sure that Monkey Boy's hanging around in the back there. Hey, Monkey Boy,
Yeah,
he
sorry.
hangs out for us.
Hi boys, I've got your balloons ready.
but yeah, it's as you get older.
Oh wow, I can hear the rain.
Yeah, and that's light at the moment. But yeah, as you get older, you'll maybe get hit on, or you hit on someone, and it's, oh shit, sorry. Wrong sex, and there's no. It's a bit embarrassing, but usually you just buy the person a drink and have a laugh. Yeah, I don't see what the big problem is. But of course, most of them, I'd say maybe 70% of all Christians are scared, aren't comfortable in their own sexuality. It's very rare to find people of any ilk or tilt that are comfortable in their own sexuality. They don't really give a shit. But Christians and Muslims seem to be especially scared or insecure of their sexuality, which is sad, because they're hiding a big part of what makes a person human is your sexuality. But I got to pop up and make a cup of coffee.
All right.
Chat amongst yourselves.
Did you guys read the comment I had about CP?
Cheese pizza.
He's the guy who posted this long story about his mother, his elderly mother, who's in the hospital.
Oh, that was vile. Did he remove it?
Yeah, he did, and I think he did it
Yeah.
because I pointed out that all the things that he mentioned, because he specifically mentioned his mother's name, and also the name of his baby's infant sibling who died at 5 months. I think he said from an accident. And the thing is, like, he gave like the full name, which is like a stupid thing to do on the internet, because it didn't take me very much to just pop in those names and figure out who he was. So I know his name, and I also, based on that, I found an email that he I think sent to some woman on the internet who like publishes digital art, and talked about how she was condemned to hell and all that, right? Just like a harassing thing. She took it well. It was like she posted it to kind of say, how silly it was that someone like that would just preemptively send her an email saying those horrible things. I mean, the kind of thing that maybe Diva would do, but I was able to easily find that because he posted it, and I think it might be because he's from the older generation and might not really understand how these things work. And we see that quite often in Neppy and Carl, where I think being from the older generation, they don't understand technology. So after that, I think that's when he deleted it. I hope that's the reason, or I don't know which is better, that he deleted it because of that, or because he got ashamed for essentially using kind of a bad, sad family moment to proselytize.
Yeah, well, you may as well
Yeah.
make.
Some of us got so mad at that point.
Yeah, if you haven't got any morals of your own, why not take the opportunity to push your cult?
I don't think he thinks that what he did was wrong, right? He probably thinks that what he did was okay, or was actually the right thing to do, right? To use that to remind you that when you die, you're going to go to hell.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't make it better.
No, no. I mean, it's so exploitive.
So
But
I
yeah,
see
so
that.
now I know who he is, and he's a Canuck, by the way. Oh, so
Canadian?
wait, hold. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I guess Diva was saying that he lets God answer questions, not him. But he's on here pretending that he knows what God thinks and wants. I mean, it's just astounding
mean,
how
It's
Christians will just fall back to, oh, I can't answer that whenever they get a difficult question. Well, I'm not God. I don't know that. But they can tell you, explicitly that somehow you're going to go to hell.
I love Diva's thing. Where's the proscription against masturbation? And he goes, oh, it's First Thessalonians 4, 3-4. So for this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immorality. That
Circular
each of you.
argument.
Yeah, so you define masturbation as sexual immorality, and therefore this verse applies. But this verse does not say anything about masturbation. So, sorry, Diva, big fail.
Well, I mean, he probably didn't read that verse until just now.
No, he probably doesn't. You just go, yeah, just whatever you want it to mean, that's what it means. Yeah, sexual immorality.
Yeah. So if some woman that you don't like, you find out, oh, she has sex before marriage, you can just say, oh, that's sexual immorality, and she rejected me because she's a devil worshiper, right? I mean, it's just like all this kind of
Here's-
justification.
Here's one for you from history. The French just, I think it was just after the Norman invasion of England, that the French churches decided that it was sexually immoral for a married woman's hair not to be in, and I'm going to fuck up the name of it, in a net. Those that they used to have their hair bound like in a net. For an
It's got a specific
and
word for it.
yeah, I can't. It starts with a C, I think. Anyway, but yeah, it was sexually immoral for a married woman not to have her hair bound. And that caused all the passion for the wimple. But unbound hair was fine on prepubescent girls or unwed girls. And if I remember correctly, ponytails were only for prostitutes. So if you're married, you had to keep your hair bound up all the time. So I mean, what the church or churches deem as immoral, sexual immoral, is completely dependent on history and cultural norms at the time.
Essentially, they're making it up, right, for
Yeah,
control.
they're just making it to control, more of a control.
Hey,
It
dear,
also
the word
seemed to
you're
help.
after, coif.
Thank you. Yes. They, they were also, because a lot of knights thought they could have their way with anything, it was a way of marking a man's property. She didn't have a hair bound up, so I was fine to have my way with it. Oh, she's got a hairband on. Oh, I can't do that because that's adultery. Weird shit like that. So yeah. You're just making it up, Diva.
Did you guys also? I mean, I think you noticed one of the commenters who's actually a trans person. I think a trans man.
Oh, I just saw
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, and I had actually invited him to come on if you know, if they want to come on, but I thought it would be interesting to kind of hear from them of kind of their story, their journey, you know, with being a transgender person, especially since you know, they pretty much have to hear from you know, Monkey Boy and Pirate and their anti-trans bigotry. But yeah, I mean, they might not be comfortable coming on. But if you're listening or watching this, you know, we would definitely welcome to have you on.
Yeah, it's a safe place here. No one really judges people unless you're a complete wanker. Pointing at Diva.
Oh, wait a minute.
No
It's
straw there.
always funny when I mean, Tiva is saying that we are strawmanning Christian belief just by actually mentioning what the Bible says. However, when they are strawmanning science without referring to anything, that's okay, I guess. Oh my gosh, hilarious. And Neo, I presume you've seen some of my comments trying to make fun of Pirate continuing to use Stylicious.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
I mean
love those. They're
it
brilliant.
is so stupid. Yeah, and he knows he's wrong, right? He knows he's wrong, but he
Oh yeah.
purposely uses it just to pretend, oh no, I'm not wrong. I mean, he is coping so hard whenever he does that, whenever he purposely brings it up, you know?
Have you noticed his obsession with hippos?
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember, why does he bring that
Which
up?
is
He was trying to make a point.
he's trying to work out if we think the same thing about hippos that we think about people, and
Was there some
their
kind of gender
biology is
thing with
just as
hippos?
bimodal as ours is.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, like, and I'm like, it's just gotten so boring. Just, you know, him just constantly saying, "Oh, sex is binary, sex is binary."
Yeah.
So I'm trying to ignore him as much as possible. But where, I mean, the thing is, it doesn't get him anywhere. So even if sex is binary, so what? His ultimate point is this his anti-trans creed. You know, to just say that gender and sex is the same, and there's only two sexes, and you know, meaning that there's just two genders. And so being non-binary or, you know, fluid and all that, you know, I think he's trying to say that that's, you know, wrong, I guess. But he doesn't go to that argument. He just kind of continually sticks on to this, like, oh, sex is binary, sex is binary. And without ever actually addressing the point that sex being binary in the sense that having two categories doesn't mean that you can't have a binary, you can't have a bimodal distribution. Those are kind of just two different things. So
Yeah.
it's just he's not going to go there because then he seems, I guess it's more obvious what his bigoted point is.
Well, the fact of the matter is, garden snails produce both types of gamete, but you wouldn't describe a garden snail as being male or female. So clearly, the gamete is not the determining factor.
Yeah, and that
So
is so obvious because like
yeah,
he's kind of careful when he says that, it's based on the gametes or how your body is structured to produce the gametes. So he's talking about how it's structured, but somehow when you get to kind of intersex, the fact that they are structured to produce both
Produce
gametes
both.
is not relevant because they have to be functional, right? And there has to be an example where a self-fertilization occurred. Otherwise, it's not valid. But
yeah,
he's okay with saying body structure for, for the gametes because until you become an adult and you're very specifically a male and female and, specifically producing those gametes, that's not 100% of the population.
yeah. Hey, Diva
And if you
decided
happen to
that
be barren,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
you're
could be
fine.
barren.
Diva decided that apparently Matthew, what's it, 5:27 is the rules that say you shouldn't whack off, and you just go, well, apparently Diva doesn't understand what the point of those verses are, and that's certainly not what's being said there. So it's not mentioned, and you don't have to look at another woman to whack off. So yeah, once again, another fail.
So that's
So
from the Sermon on the Mount.
yeah, it's
And
the
I'll read a KJV version, not the NRSVUE.
yeah.
Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay. Oh, I guess what he's saying
Yes, the next
is
bit.
that when
Yeah,
you whack off, you're committing adultery,
yeah. Um,
and so you have to be stoned, right? I don't see
yeah.
too many people getting stoned for committing adultery.
Yeah, and clearly the verse, because he ignores the rest of the verse, clearly he doesn't think people should actually. You go, oh my God, I had a lustful thought about the neighbour. I should really go and pluck out my eyeball. Thinks that's being genuine, as opposed to being hyperbolic or trying to give a lesson.
Right. The connection is that if you have lust in your heart, you have committed adultery. And he's
Yeah,
saying that when you whack off, you have lust in your heart. So therefore, by you know by whacking off, you have committed adultery. That's this circuitous reasoning that he's trying to make.
yeah,
To David's
Wow.
point about can you be a Christian and a practicing liar, I would say yes. And I'll give the age-old example of if you are harbouring people from the Nazis, I would say you are perfectly within your right to say lie to the Nazis. Or Diva has to say, yes, there are Jews in my house. Please come and kill them.
Yeah, but
So
unfortunately, he might.
he probably would, yeah.
So
So
that's not a good example.
it's
Um,
crazy.
and
and
I will bet whatever money that he has lied, and he probably
If
has
he's
lied
married,
relatively recently.
if he's married, I bet you he's told white lies such as, no, your ass does not look fat in those pants. Or, no, that top is flattering.
I mean, the thing is, like, he's actually lied in this, in the comments. When he says that you can't be a Christian and lie, he's lied by saying that.
yeah. Also, worth noting, he just says, nope, I'd be silent. You just go, yeah, a lie by omission is still a lie. So, sorry, you don't get out of it that way.
Okay, that that's vile. No, I'd just be silent. Yeah, you're a gutless wanker now, Diva. You've just proven yourself that. You're a gutless wanker.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, guys. I just wanted to say I've got to. I do have to run. So, unfortunately, I'll jump out here and leave it to the rest of the fine panel. Steve-O can tag in on in my spot. How's that sound, Steve-O?
Works for me.
Cheers.
Sweet.
Hey,
Take it
catch
easy,
us
Laura.
all during the
Keep your
week.
feet dry.
Cheers, Blog. Cheers,
I
Steve.
will. See you all. Bye.
By the way, hey everybody.
Steve-O.
Oh, damn.
Got my
How's it
story
going,
for you
Steve-O?
somewhere.
Another day in paradise, as they say.
So I was gonna say, for Diva, if God told you to lie, if your God told you to tell your wife that she does not look fat in that dress, would you do it? Of course you would, because you believe in your only morality that you get from Christianity is this divine command theory, where what God tells you is moral, and obeying God is what's moral. So I'll bet you would do a lot more than just lie if you thought your God was commanding that to you. Oh, and this is the other kind of stupid excuse to that God wouldn't, because it's against his nature. So first of all, how do you know that's his nature? Would it be against his nature to command people to commit genocide? Would it be against his nature to test someone or test the father by commanding him to kill his son? Is that against his nature somehow? No, it's not. Your God would do anything. Your God would command a lot of things. Your God literally commits planetary genocide. But for you to say that somehow lying is against his nature, it's just ludicrous. Your Bible explicitly says that when his angel said, "Hey, can we go and plant these falsehoods or deceive man?" Your God said, "Yeah, go ahead and do that." Your God literally commanded lying, commanded dishonesty, and also he told the very first lie in the book when he said that if you eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, that you will die on that day, and you did not. And I think you would probably say, well, they did die, but spiritually. So they lived for hundreds of years with a dead spirit. That makes no sense. And also, it is very explicit that it is about physical death. There's nothing that says that it's about a spiritual death. It's just ridiculous. Anyway.
All right.
So, sorry, Steve-O. So,
No, that's all right. Diva's fair game when he comes in here.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny that he comes on. I don't know why he just kind of comes in. I guess it's just for his amusement too. Oh, yep. Just as I predicted, they did die spiritually. So apparently, having a dead spirit all that time is okay. It's no big deal. So the question is, how do we know that Diva's spirit hasn't died? Maybe his spirit died when he was like a little kid when he first wanked off. So he's going. He's been all this time. He's been without a spirit. So it's interesting.
Oh, Devo. Why do you care about a God that doesn't exist? It's not that we don't care about if we care a God exists. It's about what entails from it. It's about how people. It's about how people behave because of it.
Yeah, we care about the people who believe in the fiction and use that fiction to justify their bigotry.
And
right?
I think that's a
Because you are judging people, right, based on your understanding that you somehow know God, and for some reason no one else does. So you are using that to say how everyone is sinful, how everyone is wrong, and you're doing that without any evidence of a God. So of course we care not about a God that doesn't exist. We care about the people who believe in that God that doesn't exist and use that to affect real people.
especially when it comes to things like government and law. This is something I've been thinking about. You know, Christians or whatever religion preach the good words, but once they get into power, they can start applying all the biblical um, issues, good and evil in their laws. It doesn't matter. They have complete power to do that. You know, who's going to stop them? Nobody.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, he admits that his God doesn't exist because that's just his opinion about a fictional God. Yeah,
And
we know it's your opinion because there is no God.
Yeah, that's just my take on it. Feel free to interject how you want.
Yeah, and like all this time, all the time that the XP has been around, no one has called in to show any evidence for the God. It's just been bunch of just fallacies and incorrect understandings, and we get these creationists like Florida and Epi who spend so much time trying to disprove science, science of abiogenesis and the science of cosmology and evolution, just continually trying to or claiming that it's somehow wrong, and it's strawmanning all of the scientific theories, just to say just because they think that somehow if they disprove those things that their God would actually exist, when it has nothing to do with it. Even if all those scientific models are wrong, that doesn't make God exist. God did not exist when those scientific models were not in place. Before the Big Bang cosmology, it's not like God existed. Before our relative recent science of abiogenesis, it's not like God existed. And it's not like God existed before Darwin. So why waste your time? And this is to Nepi and to Florida and all the other creationists. Why are you wasting your time denying scientific models that you don't understand? And it's very clear that you don't understand based on the comments that you make. It's just stupid comments. Nepi just like posting things like, I'm never going to read through this. It is just so stupid because they have this straw man understanding of what these sciences are, that somehow it's a mindless Big Bang and therefore it must be wrong. It's mindless abiogenesis, therefore it must be wrong. It's mindless evolution. They are just scientific models. It doesn't make it wrong, or you are not disproving it just by claiming that they're mindless. They run on very specific scientific principles, and all the scientists that are working on this and that are publishing the data, they're not just like making things up. So you or are you creationists that just say that this can't be right because it doesn't fit my preconception of what science is? It does nothing. It does nothing against the scientific models, and also it does nothing for your belief in God. So that was my rant. Not that Nepi or any of those guys would actually listen to it, and also especially for Florida, he wouldn't understand any of what I just said anyway.
No.
I don't know if we want to go a little bit off track, but
Yeah, go ahead.
to to inject a little bit of humour, an Aussie legend died this week or last week by the name of Jamie Dunn. And I've got a little video here that I'll put the link up, and if Q wants to show it, it'll give you an idea of why he's an Aussie legend. Link coming now. I still haven't worked out how to do the thing. He's a puppeteer, and he worked on a children's television show, and most of the stuff he did went to air. It shows how different Australian TV is to the rest of the world. He's the guy who came out with the joke, why don't blind people bungee jump? Because it scares the fuck out of the dogs. And that actually went to air. They had to blank the show out and go back and redo it.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Here, I'll play it right now.
Yeah. Turn the volume up because it's an old thing.
Wait, is the audio coming on?
I haven't seen a video.
Oh, sorry. I
not
can
seen
see
anything
why.
yet.
Here, I'll do this.
There we go. Okay, there's the video. All right.
Okay, you asked for it, you get the Karate Kid.
Okay.
It's not coming out. Or did you guys hear the audio or no?
Yeah, we hear it.
Okay, I can't hear it for some
Yes.
reason, but as long as you can hear it.
Give me your karate. I wouldn't push it with me, Agro. Just quiet. Do I get an apology?
I'm sorry, Anne-Marie.
I'm sorry I couldn't hear that.
I'm sorry, Anne-Marie.
Thank you. All right, back to the program.
Can you just hang on to that? Are you ready for your internal?
Oh, God. What do you think this is? You are so bad. You really are. You are unbelievable. Where do you get off on all this stuff? Get out here, you dirty thing. Unreal. Let's just catch you. Let's just see what you do. You filthy thing.
I don't have time, so I'm
Oh,
mature.
no.
Yeah, look. Yeah.
Stuff me, God.
Might as well.
No, will you shut up? Oh, that is not true. And if that gets on the Christmas tape, I will be one angry person. Look what I've got, Agro. Look at this.
What's it called?
Well, he doesn't have a name. Good luck troll. It's called a good luck troll.
All right, yes.
Have a look at him.
Yep.
See? There he is. I'll just turn him around. Look at him.
Jeez, I reckon
I think sometimes I get struck on these, so I'm going to pause it for a little while.
my hair would go like that if I had a pencil up my ass as well.
I love you all.
I love yous all.
Jeff Felix says that. Whoops.
Wait, what did she say?
She's making fun of an Australian boxer who had that much brain damage.
Oh,
Yeah, a
okay.
little bit of an in-joke. You'll get it.
Okay.
Yous all.
Jeff Felix says that. Whoops.
Not very PC.
You can't fucking go on television and send up the poor bastard. I can.
Wait, was that actually aired? He said the F word.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
this is a kid's
You
show.
can't. Dude, get pathetic. Dude. Why don't you just call him a spastic or something? Holy
Oh,
Molly,
wow.
put your leg up here.
No,
Come on now, put your leg up.
Okay, what was that? What did I say?
Why don't you just call him a spastic?
Oh my gosh.
Put your leg up.
I can't
Very
reach it.
well.
You can do it, you can do it.
Ah, you just hurt me on the thing.
On the...
Ow.
Did I?
You grabbed my saw like that.
Oh.
It's got to be gentle.
Did I really just hurt your thing?
My cut on my leg.
Oh.
Okay.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Ow, it's bleeding now.
Oh, no. Quick, let's get some Tampax.
Oh wow! This is supposed to be a kids show. Wow.
This is a kid's show.
Oh my gosh. So at first when you said Jamie Dunn, I thought it was like a man.
Jamie is the puppeteer.
Oh.
Aggro
it's-
is the puppet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
so it's the puppeteer that died.
Yeah.
I
He
see.
basically is responsible for corrupting probably 2 generations of Australians, and I think it's fucking brilliant. This is
Oh, wow.
particularly funny. Coming
Wow.
up.
I bet Diva would hate him.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's time for Agbo's Pen Pals.
Yeah, is it?
Don't you have the funny feeling? Deja vu.
Deja vu, I've got to find the letter now.
Oh, no. Have we got one?
Hey, hang on, I'm getting it. Keep talking. Tell a poem or something.
Okay, this is
How about you
Agbo's
tell a
Pen
joke?
Pals. Tell a joke?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know any.
Okay, why don't blind people bungee jump?
Why?
Because it scares the fuck out of the dogs.
This way he said it. This way he said it that made it so funny.
Was it because he said the F word, or you said he was like taken out, or they were punished? I guess.
They had to redo that show because that was a little bit too much. They'd
Because
already
of the
thought
joke or the
this way.
word?
The joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the word was okay.
Word's okay. They hadn't reached their swear limit for that particular season. Australia has sort of, or used to have swear limits that, you know, you could say, like on primetime TV, you could say cunt, arsehole, prick, but there was a certain limit. You couldn't swear, you know.
You just couldn't do. You couldn't just do it too often. But
Yeah, you
other
could
times
swear
it's
like
okay.
a sailor on shore leave, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Diva says he hates the potty mouths, not the person themselves. What does that mean?
I have
I
no
think-
fucking idea.
I think it's kind of attempt to say, you know, hate the sin, not the sinner kind of thing, but it's just
Yeah, that sounds like it,
so
but I don't know.
stupid.
But it's a fucking funny joke.
The other stupid things that Christians like Diva says that you will all find out one day. Yeah, how are you going to know? We don't have any after death experiences where people claim that they actually died and came back. It's all NDEs, near death, meaning that they did not die. Why is the word Muppet now used as an insult in the UK? Do you know, Neil? Or is that a joke?
Brainless, controlled by other people, I think. Was
Yeah,
sort of
it's more like the
puppet
R
type
slur, so to
stuff.
speak.
And the Muppet Show is a British thing, so
What? Is it?
it was
No.
really big over here. So everyone learned.
Yeah,
it.
but
Yeah.
it's an American thing. Jim
The
Henson.
US, no US show would fund it. No US production company would fund it.
Huh.
So he came to Britain, and we made it,
Ah.
Wow.
and it became huge. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
And then
every
it
British
began-
person knows the word Muppet.
Oh, I see. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's always been used in UK.
Good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I hear a lot of British people. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Self together. That's normal for a cat. That's how they look.
I've never seen a pussy with ears and a tail before.
Oh, wow.
Actually, what? What were you going to say then?
Oh, there it is.
Let me look. There, that's much nicer. That's the face. Now, Chloe's actually a Burmese cat. And I've bought
Bit
her
of a
on.
show off too, I reckon.
She is. She's a bit of a
She's
show
been
off.
pushing that thing in my face ever since she got here.
Well, she doesn't.
I think she wants it.
Oh my God.
She doesn't mean to push that into your face. It's just that...
I think she wants it, Timmy.
No, look, you can't... there are thousands of people listening out there, millions of people listening out there, and you can't say that sort of thing. Look, it's not her fault. She's just trying to be friendly.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
You know what I reckon?
What do you reckon?
I think she's cheap. Well, you're the one that said
Oh.
such a thing.
I couldn't think of the name. It's either Scab.
It's called a wee.
I know, it wasn't. You didn't touch my thing. You touched my thing down on my foot.
What thing?
My sore on my leg. You grabbed my leg and went, like this, and you squeezed the sore, and it really hurt.
Your wee, you fool.
You didn't touch my wee.
Yeah, I'll be one of thousands.
Oh.
All right. I'm going to
You can,
remove
yeah.
it here.
Yeah, that
I'll
was starting to
post-
get a little too spicy.
That was
at
good.
times.
Yeah, that
I'll
was
post
good.
some more links so you can.
Yeah.
Satan's. Oh, for God's sake.
I mean, why would Satan watch that? I mean, especially because Satan doesn't exist. You realize that only Christians believe that Satan exists. And also, what a lot of Christians don't know is that Satan, in the Bible, was actually part of God's divine council. And Satan and God were actually very close. I think they're like roommates. I mean, there's some talks, but I'm sure they're just friends. But
Well,
yeah,
And that's not to mention the Book of Job.
yeah, where they get together and
Yeah.
they do a little bar bet.
Yeah.
I mean, a bar bet that ends up with people getting killed, but
Yeah.
still bar bet. But yeah, it's for some reason Christians somehow think that Satan is this kind of evil character when it isn't. It's just part of God's little in group. I also, I don't know about fearing no man, but I don't fear God. Because I know God can't do anything. I mean, I've posted a lot of mockings of God, and nothing's happened to me. I don't know why God, if he actually has any power, why he would just, allow all that mocking to occur. Unless God doesn't exist. That would explain it. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know why Diva comes on and thinks that this is actually fun, or that maybe I don't know if he thinks he's actually reaching people by demonstrating his ignorance of the Bible, but yeah, I'm not gonna lock him.
Maybe he's eventually he'll fulfill his little kink that he has for being insulted and do something shameful and have to go and change his pants, and he'll wander away. That's what I think a lot of them are here for, is to fill some sort of strange kink, and more power to them. But
Yeah.
just make sure the people you're going to include in your kink are aware and consenting.
Well, and also, I mean, if for Diva, you could have a nice wank. Just, pray to your God afterwards to forgive you, and then that's it. Or your Jesus died for your ability to wank off. So I think it'll be a waste of his death and resurrection if you did not take advantage of what he gave you.
Okay, my mind might live in the gutter a lot of the times, but
Also bad, mine does too.
Would it be sexually immoral for a husband and wife to masturbate while watching each other masturbate? Not,
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because he said as long as it's between one woman
Yeah,
and
yeah,
one
yeah.
man in a marriage, it's okay.
I'm just
So-
trying to work out the mechanics here, you know,
Yeah.
so I don't get on the naughty list.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's a verse in the Bible that Diva can repurpose to justify whatever answer he gives. Because that's how the Bible works.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to have to need some serious drugs to get that picture out of my mind. You know? Why did I do that?
All right. And
sorry.
Diva obviously offers no real answers.
Yeah.
No, they gotta. Well, actually, he's saying that it's okay as long as you guys please each other and
Hey,
as long as there's no sodomy involved.
as long as they what they see is
That's
pleasing
what
each other,
watching does.
doesn't matter.
So analingus is on the cards, on the table.
Yeah, as long as it's not sodomy.
Okay,
it's
all right. I
Yeah.
just want to get it all right here. So,
Yeah, I
analingus-
think that's what he's saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my guess.
Yeah. A digital penetration or of the anus, or is it, you know, just the tip?
just
Just a little poke.
just a little poke is okay. He definitely makes it. I mean,
I bet he won't
he
get my
makes-
joke in the chat either.
what was that?
Oral is also sodomy.
I put the joke in the chat.
Oh wow!
Sodomy is breaking guest right. That was the sin of Sodom.
Yeah.
There was no gay
Oh,
He
sex
just
going
like
on
he
there.
just like
Anyone
makes
who
stuff
is-
up.
Yeah.
I mean, he just like say,
Anyone who has
no,
had
this
sexual
is sodomy,
relations
that's sodomy,
with
this is sodomy.
Just
I mean,
missionary. Come on.
I actually don't know where Diva gets the time to think up of all these like different rules.
Well, he's not having a wank.
He probably not get any at all, really.
Yeah.
Does it have to be through a sheet with a hole? Or what? You know, the missionary.
Yeah. At this rate, we're gonna get man.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I led people down the gutter again.
That's all right. My mind's always in the
Congratulate
gutter. Just,
myself later. No, hang on. I enjoyed that. No, forget I said that.
Oh my god!
oh man, this is definitely R-rated people.
Well, I mean, at this point, I think we all know Q's not in it to make here to make money or
I
clicks or
know.
anything.
I know.
But it's funny that the haters all think it's for the money. No.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's because
Religion.
they have to come up with an excuse to run, and one of the excuses, oh, I don't want to contribute to your views, and that's the hilarious part is that they think that somehow if they come on, that all of a sudden I'm going to get hundreds of thousands of views, and I'm
Holy
going to start
Christ, how
monetizing.
big is your scrotum?
Jesus.
He hasn't. He's been celibate since January 1st, 2021.
Man,
I mean-
no wonder you're so screwed up.
That's got to hurt when you sit down.
Oh, his rocks are probably begging on the ground right now.
It's
he would-
also
he would have
talk
had
to-
plenty of wet dreams. Surely.
Seriously, Diva, talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor, mate.
Talk to a shrink. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Night
Or
time
find a prostitute.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm telling
Yeah, help
stories out of school. When I used to work on remote mine sites, and I'd, 3-4 months away, and I'd come back to my home base, I'd go straight to the house and I'd order a prostitute. Usually give me an hour to get dressed, have a shower, bath, a couple of beers, and order a prostitute. And then I'd go out with the boys because some of my mates said, "Why do you do that?" Well, if you go out and you haven't had any for a long time, people can tell the desperation. They can see you're desperate. So I have a better success rate pulling partners if I don't give off an air of desperation. And apart from that, prostitutes need money as well, and I've got some spare laying around, so why not? But yeah, there's nothing wrong with going to a prostitute. Maybe buy yourself a fleshlight diva. It might be beneficial for you. Oh dear, giving sex life advice to a I think, yeah. I'm going to mute myself.
Just think of beige things while you're using it.
Oh, boy.
All right.
that almost went down in the gutter real quick.
Okay. Well, I'm going to end it here. I need to take off. So I'm also not, because I'm not on my regular computer. I tried to download the outro. I'm not sure what quality it's in, but hopefully it'll be okay. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming on. Thanks, Steve, for amusing us. And
Oh, of course, anytime.
yeah, and Craig and Neo, thanks for staying up so late. Anu, thanks for all your stories.
Our clocks go forward next week.
All right.
Oh boy, here we go.
Sounds good.
Hit the like button.
All right. Thank you
Yeah,
for
catch you later.
thanks, speaker, and also Henry, if you're still on. Thanks for being on, and we'll talk to you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Bye, Tuna.
Challenge your beliefs, let the silence break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives, the heart is quick. Hold to truth, no more opaque. Reason's voice, it sings so clear through fear we hear. Cut through the noise, dissolve the fear. Rise above what you revere. No more shadows dressed as truth. Light reveals what lies uncouth. No more chains disguised as proof. Reason frees the mind uncouth. Let the evidence ascend. This is fallacy's end. Scriptures written in disguise, veiling men in holy lies. Faith without a place to land. Truth that crumbles when it's scanned. Show me logic carved in flame, not a God who hides in shame. Test the world and break the spell. Truth survives where falsehoods fail. Won't you release, let the silence break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives, the heart is quake. Hold to truth, no more opaque. Reason's voice, it sings so clear through fear we hear. Through the noise, dissolve the fear. Rise above what you revere. No more shadows dressed as truth. Light reveals what lies uncouth. No more chains disguised as proof. Reason frees the mind uncouth. Let the evidence ascend. This is fallacy's end.